Okay lads, so the question for this weekend is this one here, J. So A is looking in this direction, so that means that the elevation is going to be over here on the left. B is looking over to the right, so the end view now is going to be over on the right. C is looking straight down the top, and that's going to be directly below the view from A. Okay, so the overall height now is given as being 85. Okay, so we have to measure down at least 85 from the bottom of our border. So I'm going to measure down from the bottom of my border 100 mil. I'm just going to draw a quick line across the page, and I'm going to call that then the XY line. Okay, so the elevation now is on the left hand side of the page, so to get this starting point I'm just going to measure in 50 mil. Okay, so the overall height is 85. And the overall width then is given as 28 plus 82 plus 20, so that's going to be 130. Okay, so the overall width now is 130. Send that line up just above it and join them up. Okay, so what we have here now is a rectangle of 130 wide by 85 high, and our elevation is going to fit directly inside that. So as we look from A now, we have to start taking a few of the widths. So we have 28, 82 and 20, and then we also have, when we come back in 20 here, we have a 68 as well. Okay, so I'm going to start here with 28. Okay, try to be as accurate as you can with these measurements. So 28 then plus 82, and then we should have 20 left over, exactly. Now from that point we need to come back in 68, so we can line up our 65, 6, 8 and measure them back in 68. Okay, so those are all our points that we can now project to the top of the shape. Okay, now as we look in from A again, we need to start getting some of our heights. So we have 63 and 22, and we also have 24 back here. So I'm going to do my 63 and my 22, and then I'm going to come down from the top 24 as well. Okay, so now we have a grid. Oh, I need to come up 15 from the bottom as well. So now we have a grid that the elevation is going to fit into. So we have to imagine what the shape would look like if we were looking straight in from A. So if we pop over to our SolidWorks image here, this is our image, the shape that we're going to draw on. So yellow is the elevation there, and if we just look straight in at that, we're going to see a shape something like this. Okay, so looking straight in now. Back to our drawing. We can start doing some of our firm lines. Now, as we look at our shape, all of the bottom is going to be firm. All up along this side here is going to be firm too. Across the top here it's going to be firm, so that's what we're going to see across here 20. And down then to the top of the base, which is going to be seen here. Okay. all the way across then to the end of the shape. And just finishing that off. And then we're going to see on the front surface here, we're going to see this line, which is 28 millimeters in. So checking which line is our 28, and then just making that firm. Okay, lovely. Now we're going to have this triangular section here as well. To make that, we're just joining up this point, which we've already found, and this point up here, which we've already found. So it's the further down one. It's not the one just above it. It's the one that's 24 down rather than the one that's 22 down. Okay, so we're just joining them 2 points up. Okay, and the line that's 22 down then, that's going to be a firm line, because that is this little section here that is just taken out of the shape. Okay, now we also have a circle here, but we're going to deal with that now in the end view. Okay, we're going to start dealing with that in the end view. This is only the elevation, so we're going to leave that now until we get the end view. So that's what our elevation of the shape is going to look like. Now it's just simply measuring up 5 and 5 and putting A equals the elevation. Okay, so the next step is to do the plan. So the plan is going to be directly beneath the elevation. So if we look over here at our SOLIDWORKS image, the overall width now, as we look at this, is given as being 130. If we now look at it from the plan, the overall width doesn't change. Okay, this stays 130. Okay, so that means that we can just transfer all our widths that we found in the elevation down and use them for the plan. Okay, so going back now to our drawing and transferring all of these widths that we've just found down. So you can transfer these all down to the bottom of the page if you like. Okay, so I've transferred my widths now down, and it's just a matter of measuring 30 mil below the XY line and drawing a construction line. Okay, so that construction now represents all this line here down the back, all up along the edge here, and up along the top then as well. Okay, so that's what this line is. So we need to start now getting our measurements forward here. Okay, so the first measurement we come across is 25 here. Okay, so we're going to have to measure for 25, and then we're going to have to measure back 26, and we're going to have to measure back 18 then as well. Okay, so those are the 3 measurements we have to get now in this. So the first one is measuring forward 25. Okay, the overall is 75. Okay, that's found there by adding 57 and 18. And so we've measured out 75 now, we're going to measure back 18, and then we're going to measure back from this point again 26 as well. Okay, so now again we've made a grid, but this time instead of the elevation or plan, so the view from the top is going to fit into this grid. Okay, and just to go back over where I found them dimensions, I found it here, here. Okay, so those are the dimensions that I just found there. So I have my grid made now, and it's just a matter of putting in my firm lines to make the view from the plan. So going back in here, our view from the plan, is going to look like this. Okay, so we're going to see this slanted area, and all of this red area as well. So we're looking straight in at this red area. Okay, so back to our drawing. We're going to see the whole back section here. So we're going to start from the back. We'll see that whole back section. And then we're going to see, as we're looking down, the first section we're going to see is here. So we know that dimensions of that are 20 up to this 26 here. Okay, so that now is drawn this section. Now I want to draw this slanted area here, and that's just going to continue on out to the edge, out to the edge, and join that together. Okay, so that's all this section now drawn. Let's do this slope section here now. Okay, so that's this section now just filled in. Okay, next now we're going to do this whole base here as well. So this whole base, and all we're doing is cutting off this little corner here as well. So I'm going to cut that corner off first. Okay, and that now is what our shape is going to look like if we're looking straight down on it, bird's eye view from the top. Okay, so it's directly below our elevation. All we have to do now is measure up 5, 5, and go C is equal to the plan. Now we have our elevation and our plan drawn. The final view to draw is looking in at B here. So B is facing up to the right, so to the right of the elevation now we're going to have our end view. So B is the end view. So I'm going to transfer down a line here at 45 degrees, so make sure you're using your 45 degree set square, and projecting all of these lines now across until we meet it. So transferring them across until we meet our 45 degree line, and then projecting them straight up. So where it cuts the 45 degree line, we're sending them straight up. Okay, all our heights now from the elevation, so all these heights here, we're going to send them all across as well. Okay, and now again we have a grid, but this time our end view is going to fit into it. So let's have a look here on our SolidWorks and see what our end view is going to look like. So this is from the plan, back now to the elevation, and here we have is what the end views look like. So we're going to have this area that we cut off here at the front, so we're going to see this, we're going to see all of this front section here, we're going to see this sloped area here, and we're going to see this front section here as well, and we're going to see this circle cut out in the middle. Okay, so back to our elevation. As we look at our shape, the first section we're going to see is this section here that I've just drawn in red. Okay, so that's the first section we're going to see, so we're going to start with that. Okay, so this section here now, is this red section that I've just filled in, and right next to it then we'll see this section that's cut off as well. Okay. The next section that we're going to see is this slope section here. Okay, so we know that that goes up to this first line. Okay, so the two lines that are nice and close to each other, it goes up to the first line, across and down. So let's just draw that one in. Okay, so this rectangle here now is the same as this one here. Okay, so that's how we see it in the end view. The next section then we're going to see is all of this back section here. All of that back section. So we know that that back section comes all the way across to here, and then it comes down then to this top line of the two that are nice and close together, and then back down to the bottom. Okay, so that is our plan, our elevation, and most of our end view now done. The last step is to do this circle here. So we've said now that this circle is centered in here. Okay, so it's centered. So the overall width of the shape then is 75 minus the 25 is going to give us 50. Okay, so in between this line here and this line here we have 50 mil. The overall diameter of this shape is 38, so we're going to take that out of it now. So 50 minus 38 is 12, which will give us 6 mil to the right of the hole, 6 mil to the left, and we're going to go 6 mil up from the bottom then as well. Okay, so just going to get back my pencil here again because we're going to try to find the center point of that circle now. So I'm going to measure up half of the diameter, so that's going to give me 19, plus my 6 is going to give me 25. Okay, and I can just send that all the way across my page, and I'm going to measure in then 25 here as well. Which is just going to give me 1 mil to the right of this line here. Okay, so I can actually transfer that now all the way down my page. Try to be as accurate as you can until we meet the 45-degree line, and then send it back into our plan here. Okay, so that's the center point of our circle with a radius of 19. Grab your compass. Okay. Right, so there is our circle. So we have our circle drawn now, but there are some hidden details here on the elevation that we need to get, and there's also hidden detail now on the plan that we need to get. So to get it on the elevation first, we're going to go to the highest point of the circle, which is directly above the center point. Okay, and we're going to transfer that now across onto our elevation, and we're going to go to the bottommost point, so here again, and sending that across, and that is going to be two hidden details there. second hidden detail. Okay, 2 hidden details, and also doing the same, transferring it down to this 45-degree line and across again. Okay, and that's going to give us 2 hidden details here again. 1 hidden detail and the second one. Okay, lovely. And all that's left there now again is just to go B. So the view from B is equal to end view. Okay, so that now is that drawing complete. We have a small bit of space left over here, so I'm going to chance a quick freehand sketch. So just to get you started again, I'm using the crow's foot, okay, and I'm starting right down here in the corner of my drawing, right down here. So I know it goes back this way a lot, doesn't go forward this way too much, so I'm going to start around here with a straight line, a line out at around 30 degrees, and a line out at around 30 degrees here again. Now all of my lines are either going to go straight up at 30 degrees or at 30 degrees this way. Okay. So this line now is parallel with this line, and I'm going to do a straight line up here. So a straight line up here, the same as a straight line up over here, and then just joining these up. Okay, so what I'm after drawing here now is this front surface here. I'm going to draw it back this way now, as far as I can go, at 30 degrees, and making sure that this line now is parallel to it. Okay, and now I want to make this cut on the corner, so I'm going to come in here, straight line down, I'm going to come up here, straight line down. It's probably a small bit too much, maybe around here, and then just joining them two up, and joining these two up. Okay, so what I've drawn now is this area that I've just cut off. Okay, so from this point now, I'm going to go straight up. So straight line up here is the same as a straight line over here. And straight up with this line here as well. Okay, and just making sure here that each line is going parallel with the 30-degree line, and parallel with the 30-degree line, and straight up as well. And it's just a matter then of going back here. Okay, 30 degrees, back in here now again. Okay. Okay, so that is our elevation, our plan, our end view, and our shape drawn then, just a neat freehand sketch. And then just color code a few of these surfaces. So here, the purple one I have color coded, we can see that here, and we can also see it on the end view, and we can also see it here on the plan. So just go back to our SolidWorks, that's this orange section here. So if I highlight it, we look straight in here at the plan, we can see that section here. And if we look in from the end view, we can also see it there. So we can see it on both views. So just a little bit of color there just to show that you can see it here on the end view, the plan, and also on the sketch. So that's that drawing done, lads.